Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of like we felt it was kind of cool in that, like, all right, maybe you've not done some of these dungeons, your friends can create parts of epic weapons for you, and then within the like leatherworking, armor smithing, and tailoring, there like are three really armor based because we've got cloth, leather, and plate. So cloth would be like mages and prophets, leather is like assassins and rangers, and then plates like warriors and templars. So you can also create parts of some of those sets that we were seeing, and some of them as well will roll with gem sockets in them. So you can really get the feel of there is a lot of different gear to craft, and I mean that's something that, with the advantage of adding in these procs this week, that's something we're hoping to build on. I mean, I think our crafting is a very good base, but we just basically everything in the game, we're always looking to try and improve it. We're always looking to what we can make the game better, or I mean, we're trying to listen to what the players like and that sort of stuff as well.
That's great. It's good to see that you're basing your design decisions off of community feedback and giving the players what they want within reason. You know, everybody doesn't always realize that what they want is not necessarily a great idea, but
Yeah, that's sometimes the most difficult part of it. But I mean, I think that's something that I try and do on you guys' forums and on our own forums, is we always try to be very vocal with our players and tell them, exactly what we're doing, or try and see exactly what they want, and then try and find a nice baseline to work with.
you there?
Yeah, can lose you again?
Yeah, it just cut at what it sounded like you might have stopped mid word there, but no, like transparency is kind of the word for 2014 in MMO development. So it's good to see that you guys are being very transparent with your player base. We will be removed from the realm because something just happened.
Oh, we just all came back to the city. No, that's cool. I mean, we can jump in here for a minute, and I can show you some sort of other stuff.
Okay.
We just talked to this guy.
Set as active the test of endurance.
I think so.
Join.
Well, two.
Oh, so we're gonna try a little PvP since we're level 10 and that game open.
Oh, yeah, well, we can actually PvP in here before level 10, because that's just
Oh, okay.
this is kind of a dueling arena where you can just test your abilities against your friends. We do have, I mean, if you look on your radar in the top right, we do have the little, search for 5-on-5 battlegrounds, and same sort of. We've got, capture flag, deathmatch, and
So this actually looks like waves of PvE encounters going on here.
yeah. So this is one other thing that this is kind of like a. I'm struggling to get my words out. I'm sorry.
Right.
This is kind of like a scripted encounter, in that, like, all right, this is 10 waves of guys with bosses, and kind of very conform, as in you run this a few times and it's the same waves, it's the same enemies you have to defeat or whatever. But we also have a survival mode, kind of like never-ending enemies, and then our plan in the near future is to sort of get leaderboards up on the website. There's actually a leaderboard in game, but you have to actually talk to the NPC and say, like, which was the best group this week, and you'll say, like, these 5 players, got to wave 45 or whatever, and survived and defeated this many mobs. But we plan on having leaderboards in game for our never-ending survival mode, where like we just kind of like certain waves could spawn bosses, or and it's kind of like sometimes a little bit of a luck of the draw in that what you will end up fighting. And we also have kind of like our, I don't want to swear, but kind of like our oh no button. So there's a button right in the middle of the arena, and this button times down. So every 2 minutes you can press this button, and it maybe stun every enemy in the realm to kind of give you a small breather, or it'll put a damage reduction on everybody in your party, that sort of thing. So
Or it wipes you. That'd be funny.
yeah, but that would be brilliant, actually.
It's like
Just for a 5% chance in there, it just wipes you.
there's a total. Yeah. there is a small but possible chance that if you do hit the button, that it's not going to be a favorable outcome for you, and you're dead.
Yeah, I don't think people like that too much. But yeah, so the arena that we're doing right now, it's just a little fun. Like one thing that I guess people were saying is like the game has a bit of grinding in it. I mean, I would say that like a bit of our payment model behind it is like as a subscriber, you get bonus XP on every kill, you get bonus gold on every kill, you get bonus reputation when like working up the factions, because we have reputations that are kind of important. Like some of the coolest looking gear in the game, like with the 5 different factions, you want their gear, you need to build up your reputation with them. So as a free to play player, sorry, did I lose you again?
No, I'm here.
Okay, so like as a free to play player, I guess, or even as a subscriber, there's certain times you have to go and get some XP to get another level or whatever. I mean, that's kind of normal, I suppose. So we do, we give you XP from these sort of arenas and the survival modes, and we've added like daily quests and weekly quests for beating a bunch. By the way, be careful when this guy spins.
That's nothing new. A lot of games that are microtransaction based and have subscription services provide people some type of bonus, so it's you're definitely not unique in that. So don't be concerned that you're the only one, and people that are complaining about it, it's kind of like, what do you there's got to be some kind of benefit to being a subscriber. I think I just healed the Minotaur. Rephrase that. I definitely had him targeted while trying to heal, so.
So yeah, we have that kind of whirlwind ability for the warrior later on, and I should have probably grabbed a higher level character with a bit more abilities. I just didn't want to overwhelm you. I wasn't sure how much of the game you'd actually seen so far.
I have not made it to here. Like I said, I did I thought it was a dungeon, but I'm not exactly sure. It was right around level 5. You got a quest. It was on your way to one of the main towns, and it had you go into an underground area that was full of like imps, and there was a guy at the very end that you had to beat in order. There was a guy that was supposed to go in there and find his wife.
Yep. That's the hobgoblin. So that's yeah. Yeah, he does keep sending you. But yeah, there was a dungeon at level 5. It used to be kind of mandatory, but the thing we found is like, I guess, I mean, we've been working on the game a long time, so some of their design decisions were made, years ago, and we used to have a lot more mandatory group content, but we kind of like made the opportunity to, and we also had a lot of group content based in like the main storyline, because we've got, I think it's 4 quest books that actually run from like level 5 all the way to 50, and they tell you the lore and the main story and kind of set the scene for the whole what's happening in the kingdom of Eldevin right now, and how the war is coming with the Dark Empire, and what the situation is with everything. So like in those, we had quite a few mandatory dungeons, and we kind of removed the restrictions so that people could, if they wanted, just go straight in and do the dungeons without having necessarily to do the story quests, because I guess some people really don't like questing. They just want to level or kill, or everybody's got their own play style type thing, I guess.
Exactly. There's somebody out there for everything.
Yeah, so as people die in this arena, I don't think you've died yet, you actually get put on the outskirts, so you can kind of watch the rest of your group attempt to finish the wave. You can probably see him up on the balcony just there. You get put in prison until the wave is complete, and then you come on back down.
I'm healing myself, buddy. I'm not dying.
Okay, well that's good.
I'm staying right here. Alright, now there's a wave. So how many total waves did you say there's? Oh. There was I
think we get 1 more, 2 more, and then we get another boss. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so it's like I mean, we've just tried to, content development anyway. We're trying to make stuff for everybody. The one thing that we've probably lacking on is like solo challenge modes or anything like that. But I mean, a lot of our players, I guess, have been trying to solo up some of the dungeons, even at level dungeons, with these hybrid crazy builds like herding up mobs and all sorts of stuff. So I think solo challenge modes is something that we'd want to add in the near future. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like I feel like we've got a lot of different mechanics and a lot of different things to keep people involved in, especially for a web-based game. The fact that you have very little, if not no download when you come onto the website to play the game, I think that's something we're really happy with.
I was so busy healing you guys that I forgot to heal myself, and I perished. No, you were talking about putting leaderboards accessible from outside the game, and I was going to ask you if you remember, did you ever play Dark Age of Camelot when you were younger?
I played it very little.
They were one of the first ones, I think, that really had an outside website, the Herald, that really told you what was going on with inside the game. And I know I appreciated that. It made the game much more interesting because you could always access and see how the realm war was going. So it kind of amazed me how long it actually took that to catch on with other games where you have information about the game accessible from outside the game, which keeps people tied into the game more often. So I always think it's a good idea when developers make games accessible, even when you're not necessarily in the game. You can still stay in touch with it. And,
we got one guy here really showing you his skills.
he is the man. I've healed him a lot. He's about to die. Or not. Heaven there.
He got a potion off cooldown, I guess. So I don't know if you've even noticed, you've got potions similar to
I do, and
some other action RPGs over to the right. So, but I mean, like you get a debuff, so it's one potion every 30 seconds, maybe. The exact time, I'm not sure. I know in group dungeons we limit the amount of potions because they were kind of making some of the content. I don't know the right word. Not challenging enough because you were a tank and you had massive big, because you can craft potions, and if you spend time crafting them, they're better than the ones you buy off the vendors. Mm-hmm. So there was just like people were chugging potions too much, and it was like, yeah. So it's just in group content we limit how often you can take potions, kind of to try and make it a bit more challenging.
All right,
so but yeah, I think so. So we wiped and we have to start over.
Ray, is there anything else you wanted to show us?
Well, I mean, I think probably like I wasn't really sure so I didn't really set us up with any other characters. So I mean, I'm not much sure with much else I could show you at level 10. Because you kind of fly past this sort of part of the game fairly quickly. But
I totally understand. Is there any key take? Oh, is it starting up again? Is there any key takeaways for people that are just now showing up or that weren't here for the very beginning before we run out of time?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing we'd just probably like to emphasize the most is like that, we're 100% committed to trying to get all the features that people want into the game. We have, I don't know, I think it's maybe our plan for the next couple of months is we're going to increase the dungeon count up to, I think it's going to be like 13. We're going to try and get the hardware render and freer camera angle as soon as possible, really. And then a downloadable version for Steam is in the very near future. So hopefully if people can help us out on our green light and get that going, I mean, we're just planning on really improving the game so it's your number one web browser experience in terms of like a fully action-y combat MMO for the browser. I mean, I don't really think we can be beat. I mean, maybe that's a bit bold, but like most of the browser games I've seen are very sort of JRPG with. I mean, I don't know how much depth